Welcome to Why Not Us podcast. It's your host Ken J. Look who we have in the building, Carole Hart, y'all. Carole Hart, the financial literacy guru. That's what I call you. It is what it is. Big energy. Let's go. How are you feeling mentally?
Man, am abundantly happy, blessed. It's funny because last night I had what I call a nightmare that I rarely get. And because I rarely get them, I had to stop and pause and say, now, where's this coming from? Like, what happened right before I went to sleep? Or what did I maybe omit before? And once I dove into that, I was able to say, okay, we're not doing that again, or I'm going to change what this looks like now. And it was really powerful. And then I shared it with a friend of mine. And what was amazing is that he said, let's pray about it. And so we got on the phone together, and I can't tell you how powerful that was. So, I believe that we attract what we are,
Yes.
and that's a big deal. So when I say to people, make sure that you are being your best self and you are absolutely where you should be in life, because then you can elevate and vibrate higher, and that's what will come into your space.
Yes.
Yeah. if
Yes.
you if you feel like there's a bunch of negativity coming your way, that's probably what you're emitting out.
Yes. And that's probably what you thinking.
It was.
You know
And
what I'm
I know,
saying?
and I know exactly what was on my head when I laid down last night. It's like, that's not going to happen anywhere, because your bedroom is like your sacred space to me.
Yes. Yes.
It's where you get rest. It's where you rejuvenate. It's that space where you can just be your true, authentic self. So girl, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm glad to hear that, sis. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see your beautiful face. I'm glad
Thank
to
you.
just vibe with you again. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad to see you. Like
Me
even though I
too.
see you on, but it's nothing like this. You know what I
No.
mean? It's
Mm-mm.
nothing like seeing your smile and feeling your energy. You know what I'm saying? Because you are of love, so it's always a
Thank you.
blessing to be in your presence. So
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. You have brought some, I mean, you talk about reciprocity. That's what this is about. How we met, what we've been able to do, your growth, my business, your business, what we're doing. It's all about reciprocity. And when we flow like that river, instead of
woo,
being a reservoir, that's how stuff happens for you, Kendra.
say it.
Yeah.
Sis, when I say I've been on like flowing like a river, understanding, I know we off subject, but
We're getting there. We'll get there.
I know it's like now I understand like I have no control of nothing outside of me. So just like a river just flow.
It
You know what I'm
does.
saying? A river just
Mhm.
flow. It never is upset. It just flows.
Yep, I love how that. Yeah, if you watch the river, it don't say, "Oh, wait a minute, let me stop for a minute and
Mm-mm.
do that." It just keeps moving
Yes,
and moving
it just
and
keep
moving.
moving. Yes, just like life. You can't once you understand that you are not in control of nothing outside of you, you
Hmm.
understand that you just gotta flow with it. You just gotta be.
Just gotta be.
You just
Yep.
gotta
Just
be,
I
sis.
do. I love it. I love it. So yeah.
For
So
sure.
we're. I'm happy here too, and I know our listeners are like, okay, I love what y'all talking about, but let's get to the topic. So thank you, listeners, for being patient with us. Just know that what we do is full circle. So. As I like how Kendra called me the financial literacy guru, I'll take that all day long. I, on a professional level, I refer to myself as a financial literacy professional. And all that really means is that most of us on this call probably grew up with perhaps humble beginnings. I know mine was very humble. And our parents worked extremely hard to provide the necessities. And because I know many parts of my childhood was in survival mode. We're just trying to like survive and keep it going. But what we never really get is financial education. Like nobody ever sits down and teaches us what money looks like. And that is what I do. I am not to be confused with a financial advisor. People often say, what's the difference, Carole, between that and what you do? And I said, that's pretty easy, because I had a financial advisor and there was never a conversation. It was always a direction.
Mm,
He came in,
mm.
he came into my classroom or met me in an office some space. He didn't look like me. He wasn't my gender. He wasn't my race. He wasn't my size. There was nothing about him that I even had a connection with. And then he was just pretty much directing me and telling me what to do. Well, it don't need to work like that. But because I was not knowing, and a lot of our listeners may be the same way, you don't know, you trust that these other people know what they're
Yeah.
talking about. You just trust them. Or someone in HR says, this is what you should be doing. Or someone that's been in a company for 10, 15, 20 years say, this is what they're doing. And you just follow the Pied Piper. And that's not always in your best interest. In fact, more often than not, it is not. So, what I do with the difference is I don't direct you, I educate you.
Mm-hmm.
When I educate you, now you're equipped, now you're knowledgeable. Every blue moon, people say, I want to do my homework. Well, I taught school for 35 years, so I love homework. Go do your homework, come back, and I guarantee we're going to be eating on the same side of the table. Guaranteed. So by the time I educate you and equip you and inform you, now when we talk about what the options are, you can make a better move because it's based upon what you and your family needs, not what somebody is telling you to do. So that's the biggest thing. The other difference in being financial literacy is that I want people to understand what the secret sauce is that the wealthy is doing. See, in order for us to say, we want to say, oh, I like what they have. I like their car. I like their house. Well, you got to be willing to do what they do. You don't just wake up one day and have that stuff. It's going to require you to apply the knowledge. Because I can educate you, Kendra, all day, but if you don't apply it, what's the point?
Facts.
Right. I can go to the gym and my trainer says, Carole, do A, B, C, and D, and I leave there and go to In-N-Out and have a burger, then what's the point? So that's a really big deal as well. And our education is ongoing. I'm not what you call a one and done. So my clients, my education, everything I do is at really your disposal when you need it. And the best part, which definitely doesn't happen in our community, is that I don't charge anything for my services. So I think people on this call have probably heard of, Merrill Lynch, Charles Schwab. There's all these investment companies. And you may or may not know this, but they don't work with anybody unless they reveal and disclose a personal net worth of liquidity of $250,000. They will not sit with you. They will not work with you. Now, I don't know about your people in North Carolina, but in Cali, I don't know a whole lot of people with $250,000 of net worth. Not a lot, which means it's already cutting out our community. So when you say, why not us, then why not us be able to get this education at free whim? So it doesn't cost any money to meet with me, which means now I include everybody. I jokingly always say, I'm like church. I take you as you are. I don't care if you got 2 pennies or $2 million, whatever you got, just come. I take you as you are. And at the end of the course of our relationship, our meeting, whatever that looks like, I promise you, you're going to be better off. Now, what you do with that is up to you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to for sure deposit into you. I'm going to drip on you. I'm going to educate you. I'm going to equip you. I'm going to do all that stuff. So just that you know. And here's the biggest thing, Kendra, because I'm kissing the door of 60. I'll be 60 in a few months. And I know that the trees I'm planting today, somebody's going to sit in the shade years from now.
Facts.
Think about just the stuff you and I met with the first time. Your nephew, your family, they're going to be sitting in the shade of a tree, and I will have been to glory years. And that's the real power. That is
Facts.
so powerful. And I'm so blessed to be able to be in this business because I am humble when I say I know what I bring to the table. So, as a former educator, having taught for 35 years, I understand the importance of and how to transfer information. That's all good teachers do. Good teachers get you, they capture your attention, they make it comprehensible, they know the beauty of being able to check for understanding, they know how to highlight important information. So I know that's has helped me be successful in this business. And because teachers spend their entire lives building other people, getting kids equipped for that next grade or that next chapter, I do the same thing with this business. So if anybody wants to learn how money works. Because think about it, we're in a freaking recession. I don't care what the government wants to call it, but we're not in the best of times financially. The cost of everything is crazy. I live by myself, and I remember I went to the grocery store the other day, and I think it came to like $80, and I had two bags of groceries, $80. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how that happened. And then once I went back and I looked, it's because the cost of everything is higher. And if we don't move differently with our knowledge about money, we're going to be even further behind the eight ball. So just a few little tidbits, and I know you'll put in the chat my information, but anybody that's listening to this call, the idea and the goal here is that you don't just sit here, take this information, and go about your merry way and go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The goal is that you say, I definitely don't know how money works. I would love not to have to pay taxes on my money.
Mm-hmm.
And what are some options? Like, where can I actually place my money so I don't lose any money? How does that look like? What does that look like? And I can do all that. I am not a fan of the federal government having any of our money. I am not a fan. And people tend to think that you only can invest and place your money in one, two, maybe three or four places. And I'm here to let you know that's not how it works. So I am open, motivated, driven to meet with you, your family. It doesn't matter where you are, because Kendra and I are using this platform for this podcast, but I do all of my meetings on Zoom. Now, if you happen to be in my area where I live in Orange County, California, then yeah, we can do a face to face. But I'm sure most of our audience today is not in California. So,
Facts.
right. So, meeting with me via Zoom, you don't need to bring anything to that meeting. You don't have to go look for documents. You don't have to do anything other than show up. Show up with an open mind, an open heart, an open space, so that I can in turn educate you and you move forward. And think about it. If you're in your 20s, this is the best time. If you're in your 30s, it's an even better time. If you're in your 40s, it's a fantastic time. And if you're in your 50s, it's a spectacular time. The bottom line is any time is a good time.
I love
I,
that.
any time is a good time, Kendra. Think about it. You only late if you don't start.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I met with a gentleman the other day, 65 years old. He did not know anything I had taught him. 65. This man has gone his entire life, worked for the city in Los Angeles, had a successful career, retired, and didn't know anything about his money, his insurance, his pension. He did not understand it. That's criminal at 65. And now he's so excited to get this information. And the first thing he said is, man, everybody younger than me needs this. And I said, yeah. And then his wife was on the call, who was equally as excited. She's about 5 years younger than him. But she said, which I get all the time, Carole, how come they don't tell us this stuff? Why don't they teach us how this works? I said, girl, why would they teach you? Think about it. The less you know, the better off they are.
Yeah.
Because all
Yeah.
these banks and credit unions and investment companies, they're hoping that you'll continue to be their clients so they can in turn do what they need to do financially. And the smoke and mirrors is that they have your best interests at heart. Miss me with that. They are not. Their business is about making money, and you are the vehicle of which they do that. And that's really, really, really important. So when you put my number in the chat, one thing I want to invite everybody to tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, my mentor is doing an entire webinar on college planning. It is free. It is a webinar, so no one's going to see you. No one cares if you're dressed in the car, on the beach, or in the bathroom. Nobody cares. But that information is really powerful. If you don't have a college, soon to be college student, or a child, maybe you're in your 50s and your kids are grown, I promise you the information is still priceless. And by you attending that, you're going to get more information in that hour of time than you probably have gotten in your entire life. Because when I ask people where did they learn about money, usually they kind of look around and say, "You talking to me?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." And they said, "Nobody." Or I learned by default. I had one lady, I loved how she said it. She said, "Girl, I'm still trying to learn." And she was 43 in New Jersey. She said, "I'm still trying to learn. I don't even really know." And by the time we finished our meeting, I said, "So now, if someone ever asked you again, where did you learn about money? What would you say?" He said, "I'd say Carole Hart." I said, "There you go. Perfect." So, um, and you talked about my traveling. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And the only reason why it fits what I'm talking about, money, Kendra, is a tool. It is a tool that allows you to do whatever it is you want in life. If you're booking a flight, you're going to sit in first class if you got the money. If not, you're going to be back in coach.
Yeah.
When you go buy a car, you have a budget because it's about money. When you walk in the grocery store, you just don't buy, 10 lobster tails because that's probably not in your budget. So once we normalize the conversation that money is important because it really does drive how we live, what we eat, where we go, everything, then we can kind of reduce the stigma about it. And I think that has come from just society, and I get it. But I want to just talk about the traveling because the beauty of what I do is accessible to anybody. So I want you guys to understand that I was educated for 35 years in the public school system. I didn't start my financial business journey until I was 56. That's when I started. So at 56, I like to say I reinvented myself and didn't even know it. But what it has allowed me to do is to live a better life. And I'm able to live a better life because the compensation that happens in the financial arena. If you wonder why all these people are in the business of finance, it's because the financial industry is a $1 trillion business. There is more money made in finance than retail and real estate combined.
Wow.
If you take all the money that is spent in retail, all the money spent in real estate, and you combine it, there's still more money being made in finance. Now, think about it, it makes sense. What does it take to buy a home? Money.
Money.
What does it take to go make a purchase in a retail setting?
Money.
Money. It's that simple. So when you're in an industry where the money is just flowing and constantly turning over because it's what people need, it's a livelihood, we cannot live without it, then of course it's a business opportunity. It's an opportunity. And it's an opportunity for anybody. And you can be exactly like me. I wasn't looking for this business, it found me. I was able to start part time. Sometimes I worked sometimes I worked no time, sometimes I worked all the time. The bottom line is that when I was traveling in Spain, in Paris, wherever I am, I'm still running my business. You tell me how many businesses let you do that?
Not that many.
Not that many. You can't walk into, the management in Target and say, you know what? I think I'm going to go on a cruise next month and I'll still be able to do my work here at Target while I'm gone. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And so what happens is we work, we kill ourselves for 5 days a week so we can hopefully
Mm-hmm.
live for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't built for that.
Facts.
You're not built for that. You're not supposed to be killing yourself building somebody else's dream with them limiting how much you can make,
Mm-hmm.
telling you when you can go on a vacation, deciding how much time you get to eat lunch, if at all. That's not what you're meant for. So, way to talk about that. So, somebody was trying to call me. I cannot take no call now. Okay, back. I'm back. Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you, sis.
Okay, perfect. So that was beautiful. And I'll be honest, in some of those meetings when I was in Europe, you don't have to understand this, but Europe is 9 hours ahead of us. So my business partners and my clients here in the United States, they still needed me. No one that runs a business says, I'm going to just take off for 3 weeks. I'll see you later. That way, it just doesn't work that way. So, point being, I was able to run meetings, girl, literally at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
But the fruits of that labor has paid
Hello.
off. Right. The fruits of that labor has paid off for me in the last couple of weeks, and I was in Europe in June. So there's nothing like being financially free. There's nothing like it. And I'll be honest, when my money was funny, my they say your change is strange, and I was in between financial blessings. That's the stuff that kept me up at night. I wasn't staying awake at night wondering if the grass was going to grow tomorrow. I wasn't staying up at night wondering if the Lakers were going to beat the Clippers. Most of us, and it showed, I mean, we got the data. Most people stay awake at night and worry about money, and it's not getting any better fast, which in turn makes us unhealthy,
Yeah.
because whatever's on your mind, your heart, and your spirit affects your body. And we're cellular beings. So everything about our body is related to cells. And I'm not going to clearly turn this into a science lesson, but every cell of your body is like 90% water.
Yeah.
And those cells have to, oh God, never mind, I got a text message. Those cells every single day need to repair and build themselves. That's a lot of work. And your body can't do that if it is stressing about, in this case, the topic is money. So not only is money a tool so that you can live your best life, it's also the gateway to better health. I say all the time that, wealth without health is meaningless. I can have all the money in the world, but if I'm not healthy, what's the point? And if
Facts.
and if you're stressing behind money, and that is really, the data shows us about 60% of the workforce, and that's just the workforce, worries about money. So you take the rest of the people that aren't even working, that's what they're really worried about. And so that's where we're finding more, cancer. We're finding more debilitating diseases, even asthma. They've been able to find all of these physical ailments, disorders, and disabilities that are coming from the fact that people literally are stressed. And I know that's not the only stress, but it is the primary stress that we have. So I just want people to know that you have an option. It's an opportunity. And I know it's not for everybody, but I also say don't yuck your yum before you've even tasted it. So if you took me out to dinner and say, hey, girl, I want you to try such and such a thing, I'd be like, wow, I've never had that before. I'm not going to say, oh, that's nasty. I haven't even tried it.
Facts.
I haven't even tried it. So let me taste it first. It could not be a yuck. It might be a yum. So,
Yeah.
I am willing, open, and motivated to have everybody on this call be better than me. Listen, ain't nobody too heavy for me to lift. Nobody. And the more I send in gratitude and helping
Mm.
and uplifting, it's a win-win. Look at
Yes.
us. It's a
Yes.
win-win.
Man, you was the only person that replied back to me.
That still blows my mind.
Yeah, you was the only person that replied. I will always remember that.
That's
Like
crazy.
you was like, all right, boom, all right, that's cool. Like you just was like, yeah, it was a connection. It was divine. It
Just
was meant to
instant.
happen. Yeah, and then boom, we good. I
And,
loved it.
and even like that, you were putting yourself out there with the only thing you were going to get in return was some experience.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get experience, but I'm giving you an opportunity to build and develop what you're doing. And look how the blessings have flowed for you since then.
Yes.
In a,
Yes.
in a few short months. We're not talking, it's not like we did this 5 years ago. It's been literally a few short months that we've been able to do this.
Facts.
So,
Facts. It's been
um,
amazing. I love it.
oh my God, it's a big deal. So, what we're going to do for our audience that has either been on or hasn't seen us in a while is we're going to get back to our schedule where we meet on a very regular basis. We've just had some interruptions with travel and then some other personal things within our lives that we just couldn't quite get in sync. But I said today, I'm on vacation, but I am still going to do, because if I don't do this now, then I'll keep putting it off. And the spirit just said to me, nah, Carole, your people need you. They need you. So somebody may be thinking, what part of money do you deal with? And it's everything. Just everything. Anything, just ask yourself, what is your need? What is it the need that you, your family, your husband, your children, your spouse, your lover, whatever it may be, what is the need that you have? Or what's something you've always wanted to know? Now, I'll preclude, I don't know the answer to everything, but I know what I know. I know what I don't know. And more importantly, I know who knows what I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
at any point, I will still be a resource. If there is something that is really out of my game plan or my coaching book, then I have no problems with lobbying and referring to other people that I do business with. So just know that there is some people have said, well, I didn't know you did that, or I wasn't sure what you did. Well, the same thing. You never opened the book, so how do you know?
Facts. Facts. But a lot of people need job opportunities as well. This is a great way to
Mm-hmm.
a good way to connect with you from working at home, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I try to tell people like, listen, if you looking for a job, I got somebody you could talk to. Like every time I'm like Carole Hart, Carole Hart, Carole Hart,
Mhm.
Carole Hart, like for real. Oh, Carole Hart,
Yeah, yeah,
Carole Hart, like for real. But every
yeah.
time,
Well, I appreciate that because again, the blessing is for them as well as myself because the more this is a business, it's not a job. But people
facts.
have, and we all had. I had that. I had that employee mindset because that's how we're raised, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we're trained. That money's only in a few places, and that's not the case. I was on Candace and I were on a panel the end of last month. And there's a sister that was on the panel. The topic was where's the love? And we were there to talk about finances and love, which
Mm.
is a whole nother conversation. So we'll do a podcast just on that. Because, let's be clear about it. People, any relationship, intimate or not, but for sure intimate relationships, we need to have conversations about money because it's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. The host said, if you ain't got no money, you ain't getting no honey. Um, so that's one way of putting it. But because it is a stressor, you're not trying to have an intimate relationship where you're stressed. Any relationship should be bringing value. It should be your place of peace. It should be your
Facts.
your place of refuge. And if finances or money are a problem, then that's going to sabotage the entire relationship. But my point that I wanted to point to is a young lady on the panel. I kid you not, Kendra. She had 5 different businesses. She was an entrepreneur and she had her feet in 5 different things. And at no point was she tied to a job or a boss. She ran her business, she ran her life. And I think that's really the pendulum we're swinging to. We are. And I really credit the pandemic for that. I never want to water down the loss that we experienced during the pandemic. People lost loved ones, they lost homes, they lost a lot. I get that. But what the best thing coming out of the pandemic is that we realize we cannot be reliant on anyone or anything else.
But ourselves.
Yep, that's it. All you really have is that person in the mirror. Whether your business shut down, the health industry failed us, politics and government failed us, employers failed us, grocery stores. There's all these entities and organizations that just weren't prepared and ready. And we're reliant upon them. We're reliant and say, they got it figured out. They're going to take care of me. No, it is time to look at this very differently. So I love the fact, and this young lady, I think she was in her mid 30s. She had 5 different businesses. And so we think about, I say all the time, if you got one income, that's too close to none. One income is too close to none because if that changes in a moment's notice, which it can, because again, it's normally tied to an employer, then you're at the mercy of whatever they're going to quote unquote provide. And the last time I checked, there's not too many employers that come to you and say, Kendra, what are your dreams? What would you like to do in life?
None of them.
No, nobody does that.
You just a number.
It is. It's like they want you to keep building their dream
Yeah.
by you coming in, but I can't sign off on that. And I'm grateful grateful for my 35 years of teaching because it would not have placed me here. It would not have given me the lens to be able to look back and say, I didn't deserve more. I couldn't have gone to Europe for 3 weeks and not be in debt up to my neck if it wasn't for this business.
Mm.
That's huge. And if I can do it at 59, think of all the other people that can have that same kind of lifestyle years younger than myself. And I'm about to book another trip somewhere. I don't even know where it's going to be, but I'm
I
going
love
somewhere.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love seeing you traveling. I love seeing you enjoying yourself. It's just a smile for me. It's just the energy. And I'll be doing that as well soon.
Yes, ma'am. You sure
I
are.
will be doing that as well soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't when you get to that end of the road and your this life that we call here on life starts to end, you're not gonna look back and say, golly, I should have worked more.
Facts.
It's not what you're gonna say.
You gonna
You
say I should have took more vacations. I should have did this. I should have did that. Because at the end of the day, when you sitting here working and working, like to me, I feel like everybody. I mean, everybody ain't meant to be the same person, but we not put here to be working, be slave to a
mm-mm.
job. You know what I'm saying? We are very creative individuals. We
Mm-hmm.
guys, we're God's highest creation.
Exactly. Exactly. And nowhere is it said, written, or preached that you should be struggling, that you should have less than enough. Remember, it's my cup runneth over. That means you've
Facts.
got more than enough, more than
Facts.
enough. So that's my goal. And I get it. I think a friend of mine shared something he saw on social media where I guess this guy was going off on, he was, I guess, getting tired and frustrated by people coming to him with entrepreneur messages. And I get that. Not everybody's built to do this, but I do believe we are built to have success. I believe that we absolutely are meant to just have a better life. And that varies from person to person. What I like, you may not like. What you want to do, I may not want to do. But whatever your thing is, you got to do it. I'd rather have a oops than a what if.
That's it right there. That's and you gotta just take you just gotta understand, have to have faith and just take
Hmm.
that leap.
Take that leap.
You
That's
might
some,
fall, but you'll be able to get back up.
yeah.
But you took
And
that first step.
then that first step will be a lesson because you either learn or you win.
Mm-hmm.
You either
Mm-hmm.
learn or you win. There's never a loss. I've had people say, "Oh man, I took that L." I said, "You didn't lose. You learned something." And now when you start again, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience.
Woo!
That's different. That's totally different. See, and this is the other thing. Being in business with me, meeting with me, and working with me, you fool around, I'm gonna have you believing in yourself, and you're gonna realize there's things you can do that you never thought about.
Yep. And working with you is more than just a business. You know what I'm saying? It's like a family. You know what I'm saying? Because you really care about people, and
I
so
do.
that's very important to me. You know, when I'm sending when people ask me about A, B, C, and D, I know that you care about the person.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Yep,
you care
absolutely.
about the person. That's key. A lot of people don't care about people. It's about their money.
It is right, and we say all the time with our business, we are a personal development company disguised as a financial firm. So the
Yeah.
first thing we do is we change your mindset, we
Mm-hmm.
feed your soul, we motivate you, we equip you, we mentor you because nobody does that either. People get in a job or an industry and they say, here's our owner's manual, here's their employee handbook. Read that. You got 2 weeks for training. You'll be on probation for 3 months. Good luck.
Facts.
Who does that and expect great results? We know, I know, and I've seen it that people that work with me have a high level of success because they're supported, they're seen, they're heard, and they're loved. And there's a lot of variations of love, a lot. We need to be clear about that as well. And the tool is just you're going to understand how money works, but we're going to develop you first. I'm going to develop you first so that you are equipped to then go out and learn what this looks like. And that's a big deal to me. So yeah, I couldn't be happier, girl. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. And
I
if
love it.
anybody wants to ride with me, I got plenty of room. This vehicle ain't never gonna run out of gas because we ain't running on gas.
I love it. I love it. I love that. I put your number in the I
Chat,
put
yeah.
put your number in the chat. You remember you was telling me about the webinar.
Yeah, so
Um
this if they hit me up today, I will send them the link. They register. It takes literally less than 30 seconds to register. It's their name, their email. They'll put that they're a guest and they'll say who referred them. They put Carole Hart. You spell my name wrong, it don't matter, but it's easy to do. And that's it. Yeah, you text me, I send it to you. I'm good. I can be at the pool with a pina colada and do that today. So it ain't hard.
was the pina colada good, sis?
It's good. It's a little sugary, but it's good. Yeah. I have quite a few beverages. I just thought I threw that out because it sounds
Hey,
vacationy. It sounds
hey,
vacationy.
and wines. When you was over there in
Yeah.
Europe,
You saw that, right?
yes. What was
Girl.
the wines okay?
Oh my God. Kendra, the pasta and the wine were everything. And we figured it out. My niece and I, what they do in Europe that we don't do is they don't do a lot of preservative and additives. So
Mm.
everything is, they're not trying to modify the food. They take it as it is, just like you should be. Over here, we always changing stuff because we're trying to do this and do that. Leave it alone. God knows what he's doing. So those grapes are better and fresher. The pasta, which is growing from different flours and wheats, is better. All of it. Oh my God, it was everything. It was everything. It was everything. I don't know how to say that enough.
Hey, I just seen you smiling. I just like, man,
Yeah,
I
I
was just
could.
so happy. I could just feel the energy.
I
Like
love it.
it seemed like you was gone for like a month.
It was 21 days to be exact. Almost 21 days. And again,
Yeah.
I have never done that. And think about anybody. When's the last time you traveled for 21 days? And if you're saying never, it's time to change that script. It's time to, you don't want that to be your they don't want that in your eulogy. You want that obituary to talk about all the stuff you did. I'd rather say, oh, look at this. I did here, I went there, I did that.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
enjoy life. You was just enjoying life. You was just being.
I was just present, and I am the
Yes.
queen of being present. I wasn't always like this. I want folk to know I wasn't. If they had met me 10, maybe 5 years ago, I wasn't even the same person. But I've been able to really meet myself for the first time and get to know who I am just through the journey of building a business where we develop you first. You think teachers got it all figured out, girl? We struggling like everybody else. And once you really are clear about what you want and what you
Mm-hmm.
deserve, let's just change the language. You deserve it. You absolutely do. And
It's
once
our
that changes,
birthright.
it is absolutely. And I don't care where you come from, it's where you're going.
Hello.
Yeah, it's how you finish. We can
Yeah.
start everywhere. It's how you finish. My mama didn't finish middle school. My father didn't finish elementary school. Come on. In their wildest dreams, you ever think that they thought their little girl would be traveling to Paris? Never. They couldn't see outside their little community and world. But that's what I'm saying. What we do is about what's coming and who's next. It's all about that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
So
love it and
listen,
I love you.
I love you more, love. I tell you all the time, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. We ain't
For
gonna do
sure.
nothing different because it ain't broke, so we ain't gonna fix
Hello.
it.
And and I can't wait for you and Candace to start coming back weekly.
Yes.
And it'll be doing like y'all lunchtime, and that'll be good. You feel what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I'm excited. I'm excited. I miss this.
Me too. I'm so glad. Thank you, love, for being patient with me. I love it. I love it. And let's continue to like just grow and glow.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you again. Y'all make sure I put the number in the chat for the people that will be watching later. The number is in the chat. So make sure y'all get in contact with her.
Mm-hmm.
That's for free. Like you could talk to her for free.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For
So
free. Ain't
hey,
nobody
it's up
doing
to
that.
y'all. It's up to you. It's up to you. So
The
that we put it up.
ball's in your court.
Hello. So All right. So peace and blessings to everybody. Once again, this is Why Not Us podcast, and we're out.
All right. Bye, Bo.